Podcast time.
And good evening. Mark, how are you, buddy?
Wonderful. How are you? I think something just ding-donged on me. I don't know what that was. It's kind of
I don't know
nerve-wracking.
either. I don't know.
So.
There's always it wouldn't be the gentleman the jerk without some weird, funky technical difficulty stuff. So
it could be worse. We're doing all right. How I'm gonna pretend like that didn't happen and just keep moving. How was your week?
My week is fantastic. I've been busy. I went out and bought all the things I could to recreate your studio in your house so that we have the same studio. So I think it came out pretty good. I'm fairly happy with it. We look.
I know you are. I love how
we're becoming more and more like each other all the time, Mark.
Right, and I know that's great. I'm gonna have to move this like.
No,
that.
Why would you do that?
Oh, let's just do this. Let's just turn this guy around. See what happens.
Oh.
See if anyone who comes in later notices what
Paul's,
the only thing. Let's see if anyone notices any difference. So.
Yeah, Paul's already, as you can see, Paul's already on to us. He's right there. He's got the green screen notification.
He doesn't know how computers work.
Yeah, he's got it right there. He's got it. Oh,
yep.
I thought we had it, man. I thought we had it, but sure enough, I was wrong.
Hey, dude, those two pictures up there, they're worth more than your car. Don't worry. I
don't know if that's exactly accurate. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration.
I've seen your car. Yeah. Anyway, so you do anything fun? Have any interesting things happen this weekend? I mean,
I celebrated my birthday for about 4 more days after the show last week.
Sounds like you did yesterday as well.
I'm prone to do, and then I worked all week long. Got some Christmas. Got almost all of my Christmas shopping done. I've got like a handful of things that I will finish up tonight. But the biggest thing this week, which is what we're here to talk about, which was the thing that caught my eye, was Disney's big investor presentation.
Yes.
And that's what we have to talk about tonight.
So are you gonna ask me how my week was?
Oh, of course, yeah. Mark, how was your week, buddy? How was it?
I had a great week. It was one of the best ones ever. My freezer took a crap, so I had to go buy a new one.
That sucks.
Yep, but I had an anonymous celebrity, former Seahawk, come into work with his fancy car, and that was a great time. I got to have a nice conversation with him. All my coworkers are sitting back there, all scared. So that was good. I hesitate to say the name, and I probably shouldn't. So
go for it. Nobody's watching anyway.
No, I'm watching. So, but one of my coworkers, she was sitting in the back, and I'm pretty sure she was very starstruck. And on his way out the door, we were walking out back to his car. She says goodbye, and he says goodbye. And when I get back in, all I hear is, "He said goodbye to me," and she was so happy, running around. Oh, it was awesome. So we had a good week. I'm still He's a former Seahawk, retared player. Just a
was he ever in the
nice
movies?
Guy. So,
was he ever in the movies?
No.
Oh, it wasn't Brian Bosworth?
No. It wasn't.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, no. That dude's broke. He can't afford an NSYNC.
No, I know. He did some garbage 80s action movies that were never very good.
So, hey, happy birthday to Jeannie's dad, 82 on Thursday. That's awesome. Congrats. I wish, hopefully you two get to see each other soon. I know, I hope with the vaccine coming, we're getting close to the end of this, but who knows? So just wanted to give that little shout out. But anyway, back to the topic at hand, Chris. So earlier this week, I think I texted you and said, hey, let's do a top 10 favorite parts of the Disney Investor Day. So we were going to do that, correct?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. By the way, for those that didn't notice, over here, we got the chat going this week. I finally dicked around with it enough to get it working. So now we can go back and forth. You guys are actually directly involved now in what we have going on. So hi to everybody. By the way, Brandy, you would ask me what kind of car I drive. I drive a
terrible.
What do you mean it's terrible? Why?
It's glitchy and terrible. Just telling
Is
you.
it in the stream or just to you?
I don't know if they're hearing it or if it's just me, but you are.
Well, we already talked about it with you. Already talked about it with you. Hey, everybody, how does my audio sound on your end? I don't know. Nobody's saying anything.
Well, there's a 15-second delay. So if we say some dumb stuff, we can delete it, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I keep hitting my mic. I don't know. I sound pretty good over here. No, I don't know what that means.
We should have a dump button. Okay, it says your audio fine. It's
my audio is fine. I think I told you before. You're getting me through my laptop, and it's just you're not going to get the clean audio. So my apologies. All right, guys. So we got off on a tangent there. Hit us, Mark. We're going to talk about our top 10. Go ahead, fill me in, man.
So top 10. So I asked him to do a top 10. He forgot to do it, so he's just going to go wing it. I got mine written down because I'm very professional.
Good.
So let's do this.
Chris, why don't you go first? Yeah. Oh, okay. Am I going first?
I'll go first.
Why don't we do one at a time? Why don't we do one at? All right. Why don't we work together?
All right. Let's work together. Let's help
me out with this, man.
Because you and I are not going to agree. It's not even close. So let's start with our 10 and work our way up to number 1. How does that sound? Instead of
I would absolutely say that as far as the low end, and then we'll build
let's build some momentum here. I mean, we're already starting off on I don't know what kind of streak. Not sure.
I think we're starting off on a fine streak. What are you worried about?
We've got a hell of a lot of posts here today. Thank you all for tuning in and chatting with us. So hey, number 10 for me.
Yeah,
it's nothing specific. It's Taika Waititi directing a Star Wars film. Nobody knows what the film's going to be. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But man, talk about a breath of fresh air for the Star Wars. And that's going to be so cool.
Well, I have to agree, and I'm going to throw up on the screen right quick here. So this is the announcement.
Better wipe it off.
Yeah, right. This is the announcement that Disney made about upcoming Star Wars titles. So as you look on the screen here, there's a number of different things. Not all of these, only a few of these are movies. I think Lando is a movie.
I don't know. I think it's a Disney Plus series. I think it was.
You think Lando is a Disney Plus series? I don't know if they're gonna bring what's his face back. I don't know if it's going to be.
But they didn't announce that. They didn't announce he was coming back. They just said Lando. Left it at that. So we'll see.
Maybe.
So I know you're super excited about the Star Wars. What would you put as your number 10? Where's your number 10?
Oh, my number 10. I'm going to put number 10 down as Andor. One, because I knew it was coming. I like the character Cassian Andor. For those that don't know, he was he was in Rogue One. He was the I guess he was the rebel spy kind of thing. That ended up working along, to find the rebel plans and then or the Empire's plan and for the Death Star and then all that kind of stuff. So, of the two anthology movies that were made, Solo and Rogue One was by far the superior movie. In the way that they played it.
Maybe a top 3. Maybe it's a top 3 Star Wars movie of all time in my book. I don't know about you.
I put it right up there. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't think it's as good as any of the original trilogy. So I would possibly put it 4.
That's fair.
But I also think that as it ages, Revenge of the Sith becomes a better and better movie. So I may put Rogue One to be my 5th favorite Star Wars movie. So my 10 I think would be Andor.
All right. So let's go to number 9. We got only an hour to do this. Let's get through everything we can because I want to get to my disappointments at the end because I think there's actually some topic there. So my number 9 actually is kind of a twofold thing. So they're coming out with a Moana animated series. So that's really cool. It's one of my favorite Disney classics of all time. But what's cool about it is it's going to be one of the first few series that was actually created by the Disney Animation Studio as opposed to farmed out to someone else. And I believe they're doing Tiana and Princess and the Frog, and then one other new series, I believe. There's 4 or 5. So I'm really excited to see what they can actually do with an animated series as opposed to a film. So that's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'm going to admit right now that's one of the announcements that may have slipped under the radar for me. I wasn't even aware of that. I was so hyper focused on the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff that some of the actual Disney presentation stuff kind of went right over my head. So
and you know what? To be honest, a lot of that was kind of disappointing to say the least. I mean, they're making a 3 Men and a Baby series with Zac Efron. I mean, I don't know. That's not
well.
not
and I heard
I'm
Alien
not the
too.
audience either.
They're doing a new Alien movie. I heard as well. Is that correct?
No, hold on. Let's wait for that.
Okay.
That's kind of a big deal for me. So.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Fair enough. All right. So then
number 9. I know you're
so
going to
number
stick
9,
with Marvel and Star Wars. So let's
most likely,
going.
yeah. Only because those were the big announcements for me. So I would probably have to put. I would probably have to put number 9 for me. Would be the trailer reveal that they did for Falcon and Winter Soldier, because and along with that, the caveat, it's kind of a 2-part thing. Along with that was the announcement of the actual release schedule, because up until now that had been thrown into flux. And the thing with that being thrown into flux in the way that they did is that it now undoes a lot of speculation as to what was going to be happening in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So now it's questionable at best as to whether they're going to follow the same line that a lot of the vloggers and YouTubers were assuming they were going to do for that Falcon and Winter Soldier storyline.
Yeah.
And how it was going to...
Does it look like it follows directly after the movie? It almost looks like he hands him the shield, and it looks like it goes right from there.
Sure, and it would almost have to, given the nature of what the trailer makes it look like. Now, there was some speculation for a while about some characters that would be showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier and how it was going to connect to what is my higher announcements. So I'll get to that later. Fair enough. It was the assumption was that it couldn't come out until Black Widow came out. And along with that, it's going to be... Well,
thank you, Rona.
It's been proven now that can't be the case. So if watching Falcon and Winter Soldier was going to spoil Black Widow, they would not be releasing Falcon and Winter Soldier in March, with Black Widow not coming out till May. So it kind of threw all that into chaos now, as far as that goes.
And that's okay. I mean, I get that. I mean, we're all rolling with the punches right now, so they got to do what they got to do. So anyway, I agree with you. I think that's great. Didn't make my list. But I didn't make my list because I think it's coming so soon that I don't know. I just didn't. I know enough about it that I wasn't that excited about seeing the extra stuff. Now I watched the trailer 4 times, so maybe I should have put it on my list. Who knows? Sure. So all right. So let's head to number 8. And
number 8,
another one that I think you might have missed this one too. So this was a Pixar announcement. Hi, my name is Doug. They're going to do an animated series with
Doug.
Doug Days. Yes.
From Up.
A Doug from Up. He's going to go into the city. He's going to see his squirrels. He's going to have a great time. Oh, man, that looks so awesome. This is where I actually start to get kind of really excited about the stuff coming up. And, that just sounds like a fun thing. Who knows? It's going to clearly be a lower budget production, but, oh, man, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about that. I know you probably missed that as well. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that I know I saw some of the Disney stuff, but
you just
the reality is, well, no, the reality is that I spend an exorbitant amount of my time watching YouTubers that talk about Disney and Star Wars, Disney as it pertains to Star Wars and Marvel
and Star Wars. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I miss a lot of the Disney announcements unless I'm doing park stuff, and when I'm doing park stuff, then I watch Disney YouTubers. But I mean, I haven't been in the parks in almost a year.
Right.
I'm not going to the parks for a long time. So
sucks.
So I'm avoiding Disney stuff because it actually kind of makes me sad.
And I agree with you. It's to hear that, I 100% agree with you, because gosh, I turn on some of my favorite Disney YouTubers and I got to turn it off because I want to be there so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, way to turn this into a sad story. Thanks a lot.
No such thing.
All right,
we're doing just fine.
Your number 8. What do you think?
My number 8. My
wife is on a roll today. Exorbitant amount of time on nerding out. Yeah, you're right.
That's correct, right? I didn't. Hold on a second.
She's not wrong.
Is she giving me a hard time?
Yes.
I feel like she's giving me a hard time.
She's not wrong though. You know that.
Ugh. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got no time for anything. So my number 8. Okay. So my number 8. let me get back to this here. I'm playing around with the settings because I didn't get one setting just right tonight, and I'm kind of irritated by it. Anyway, my number 8. I'm going to say, once again, I'm winging this as I go along. I think mine is going to be the droids announcement.
Okay.
And the reason why that announcement, now one, I think that's Taika Waititi's. They didn't say for sure if that was a Disney Plus series. And they also, by the way, did they say Taika Waititi's doing a film or Taika Waititi's?
He will be doing a feature film.
Feature film. Okay.
Yes.
So regardless, I think it's still going to be droids. And the reason why is because if you had told me...
Oh, man, that'd be great for him. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because he plays a droid in The Mandalorian. God. And the reality is that if you think about the history of Star Wars, well, real quick, if you had told me 2 years ago or 10 years ago that they were doing an IP about Star Wars droids, I would have thought for sure that you were doing a cartoon for children. But somehow in the Filoniverse, things have changed. And obviously the original trilogies with R2-D2 and C-3PO, they were benchmark characters. They were as important to the story as Luke or Leia or Darth Vader. They provided comic relief, but they also they were the any-man in the universe of smugglers and the space western. They were the everyman that didn't have any specific powers. They just kind of existed there, and they followed the story along, and they were the thread that weave through the whole thing. Then you start talking about the new movies. Rogue One had a very, very amazing droid in it. Mandalorian has, again, Taika Waititi playing the droid, an amazing droid. Can I stop
you just for a second?
Sure.
We've been requested to list our picks on the screen. I think the easiest way to do that right now is the chat. So if you want to add yours to the chat. Oh, sure.
Well, you have the chat type, so you had my number 8.
I don't remember what you even said. I'm kidding. Just don't like an
ad. So anyway, I would love to see a droid, and I can imagine almost like an 80s thread, like the idea or imagination where a droid gets freed and wants to go on a huge adventure. Maybe the droid gets some kind of downloaded information about Jedis in a post-Jedi world, and he wants to go out or she, gender neutral droids here. They want to go out into the galaxy and look for Jedi or something. And I think that there's so many things they could do with an IP like that. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Agreed. That sounds really fun. I'm excited about that. I'm wondering where Paul is not hearing me. I think he's tuned me out at this point. I am adding mine. I do apologize for not adding Chris's because I honestly don't remember. I know droids.
You're so mean.
Yeah,
you're just mean.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. You can do the chat. You're on the chat too, right?
Yeah, but I my setup. I have to work on my setup because I got things over here, and then I'll be typing like this and looking like this, and nobody wants to see me like that.
You've got some pretty nice artwork, though. I got to admit.
You know what? I'd almost rather be in the Millennium Falcon though. So I'm going to sit in the Millennium Falcon, I think, for a little while now.
All right, you should do that. Let's fly away to space.
Carry on. Okay.
All right, number 7.
Seven.
I got a feeling this is going to be much higher on your list than mine. Secret Invasion. Oh boy, that sounds super interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. I think a lot of us expected Secret Wars to be feature film as opposed to this being or even a series of feature films like Infinity War.
I will agree. That's what I originally thought. That's what we were looking at.
Series with Sam Jackson as the lead in the series. That sounds super cool. I think it's going to be neat to watch. I think it's actually might be a great space for this series to bring it back here. I think I kind of like the way they're going with it. What do you think?
Well, I think it's great. And what I also like about it is that they released a time frame for it as well. So on the screen right now, I don't know if you can see it yet on your feed over there, Mark, but it's one of the later Phase 4 things. And it's a series, not a movie. And it takes place after a number of the events that will finally combine our thing back together again. And actually, that's the whole idea of where the story is going to weave is part of one of my higher things, I think, at this point as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. They've been, since Captain Marvel, they've been talking about the possibility of doing the Secret Invasion storyline, which was huge in Marvel Comics. Took place over the course of a couple of years, as a matter of fact. It was
massive. Oh my gosh, that's about the only thing I ever read in comics.
Yep.
Just saying.
So and yeah, go ahead.
So speaking of Secret Wars and things, this just popped in my head because it's not my top 10. Maybe I'll wait. You know what? Keep going. I'm going to wait until see if this is actually in your top 10 because I had something pop in my head right now. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's see your, let's go with your number 7. Where are you at?
Oh, so my number 7 is the trailer for Loki, which again, already knew Loki was coming, so very similar to the Captain Winter Soldier. But oh my God, it looks way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Fish out of water story almost.
Oh, for sure. But in pure Loki fashion, he finds the ropes pretty quickly. And seeing the last scene of that and what he did with it and what that says for what he's doing, what he's trying to accomplish, and his reasoning for it. I think is really incredible. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, at the very end of the trailer for Loki, they show him dressed very un-Loki-like. He's wearing a business suit. He's got his hair slicked down, and then he talks about Heimdall knowing in the right place at the right time, and then he jumps out of an airplane, and then you see the Rainbow Bridge come through, and a little puff of cash in the air. So they're referencing D.B. Cooper, which is obviously quite famous up in the area where you live, on a flight in the 1950s, was it, from Portland to Seattle, where D.B. Cooper jumped out of an airplane and disappeared. So it's
never to be found. Never to be
found. And that's the whole point, is that he was caught by the Rainbow Bridge and then brought back to...
Never to be found.
But the interesting thing about that, so if that's his big escape, if that's going to be Loki's big escape, is to grab on to the Rainbow Bridge and go back to, with Thor and Odin and all of them, and that means he's doing that in a completely different time frame, where Ragnarok has not happened yet. So there's a lot of, how does he come back in the timeline? How many different Lokis are we going to get? How much power is Owen Wilson's character going to have? I mean, he's got a funny scene where he makes fun of how much Loki talks.
Yeah, that's so cool. Is there an actor that Kevin Feige can't get now?
I don't think so. No, and they haven't made the announcement yet. And but if it's the rumors are true and he got Tom Cruise for Doctor Strange, then Kevin Feige can get anybody he wants at this point. I would have no doubt about that.
Oh, and I'm going to pause for a second. This Coors Light's for Paul. He requested me to have an alcohol tonight or two. So there you go.
I am not drinking alcohol tonight.
So let's continue with where we're at, and I think I'm on number 6 now, right? So here's one that could go kind of a lot of different ways for me. It was a very, very short little blip right at the end of the Marvel presentation, and it's Fantastic Four.
Oh, Marky.
This could be much higher on my list. I have an actor that needs to be Reed Richards, and it's John Krasinski.
Yeah, of course.
I know it's on interwebs forever.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that, I went, "He's perfect. He's perfect for that role. He wants the role." There's rumors that there's even talk about his wife in the movie. She doesn't want anything to do with Marvel, but you know what? Money talks.
Wow.
And if she wants to do it with him, I mean, you never know. So
I think, I think what happens, and you saw it with, and before we go too far here, this is also my number 6. I've been thinking about it for several minutes. So we actually are exactly on point with number 6. It would have been funny if it was 4, but hey. Let me address. Let me address what you said first. So as far as Krasinski and Emily Blunt, yes, they have been fan favorites for a long time. There is no limit to fan art out there.
A Quiet Place. Do you like that movie?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. And you can see right here, Fantastic Four, third row down, all the way over to the right. And that is, I'm going to tell you, well, actually, I'm going to give you an idea here of what I think is going to happen as far as John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I think, so if you recall, there was Emily Blunt was actually cast for a Marvel movie already.
Yes.
And she was cast as Black Widow way back when. She actually turned it down because she had a scheduling conflict with another movie she did, Gulliver's Travels, which clearly is not on
that
the...
was a whoops.
Yeah, that was a mistake on her part. Then also, John Krasinski, in a very famous story that he told on Jimmy Kimmel, actually screen tested for Captain America, wore the costume and everything, and they had him do kind of like a standoff with Thor, which ended up being a scene in the first Avengers movie. And he saw Chris Hemsworth, and he saw himself and said, "No, I'm out."
So it wasn't. Yeah, he knew.
But the rumor again, so to go back to the Tom Cruise thing, I had mentioned Tom Cruise. For those that don't keep up on the super geeky side of the speculation for all these kind of things, that the idea that is in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, that they will be sliding in and out of alternate realities. Now, what they are doing with these alternate realities is they are bringing in other castings of characters along with other versions of characters. And one of the castings, so before he turned it down, Tom Cruise had been cast as Iron Man way back before Robert Downey Jr. He had to pull out of it because of Mission Impossible, and then they ended up putting Robert Downey Jr. in. It's obviously smart choice. I don't know if the Marvel Universe would have become the Marvel Universe if you had Tom Cruise in there originally as...
But you know what?
Man.
It's funny you say that. Would have Robert Downey Jr. become the Robert Downey Jr. we know without Marvel? They both needed each other at the time.
Both needed each other. Absolutely. Yeah. He wasn't... it was a great casting all around.
Perfect.
It was for everybody. So as you can see, there's now this almost this lineup of star actors that were almost cast that weren't. So the idea behind Doctor Strange is to put these characters back in those roles. So if you inside
now
this,
they want
you see,
in. Now they want in.
Sure, but I mean, think about the irony of the fact that Krasinski was going to be cast as Captain America and Emily Blunt was going to be cast as Black Widow, and neither one of those characters are currently existing in the Marvel Universe. Or Tony Stark. Tony Stark's also gone. So you could have Tom Cruise, John Krasinski, and Emily Blunt all playing those versions of those characters because they don't exist. So I think it's very interesting. So it leads to the question, if they do that, will they bring Krasinski and Emily Blunt on as Reed Richards and Sue Storm for Fantastic Four? And I don't think that they're going to do that. So the question becomes, do they not do, the fandom wants them as the first family. So will they forego putting them in, Doctor Strange, or will they, stick with their guns and then recast the Fantastic Four? I don't know. I mean, he really is perfect for it. They're already a married couple. The reality is you could have Chris Evans. You could have Chris Evans as Human Torch in an alternate universe too.
That's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen. I agree.
He's done with this. So you know
what?
I think
he's done with it, but he's not done with Disney. I mean, that's the announcement. That's on my list.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, so
but he is done with it. I get it. I just think the amount of buzz, the amount of actual John Krasinski out there saying he wants to play the character.
Sure.
And now, I mean, when he started playing that, he was just, Jim Halpert on The Office when he started talking about it. He's an A-lister now. He was just Jim Halpert on The Office when he started playing it. I know you don't know what The Office is. It's a TV show that's funny, number one in all time, probably. Anyway, so he's now an A-lister. He might be able to. He might have enough flex at this point to say, you know what, that's the only one I'm playing, and if I don't play that, I don't play anything. Never know. So anyway, possible. Number 5, and you mentioned this earlier, Aliens, the series. So
there it is.
It sounds like it's going to be on FX. I can't tell if it's going to be on TV or if it's going to be on the app or where it's going to be.
Where did you get the FX information?
So if you actually look at the rundown, it's listed as an FX. It's listed as an FX production. Now, here's why I believe that. It makes complete sense. The director that is attached to Alien is Noah Hawley. Noah Hawley directed my current favorite drama on TV, which is Fargo. He's directed all 4 of those seasons for FX. So
Gotcha.
it makes sense that that's where he's going to go. So it kind of sounds like it might be something. I don't know. I mean, if you put that on FX is kind of pushed the envelope as far as TV is concerned. I could see them going pretty gory on FX and being okay with it. And I think that might be the perfect place for an Alien series. I'm excited to see it because I know how much I like his directing and his direction and his twists and all the things that he does in Fargo, and I'm excited to see it with that kind of storytelling. Let's see how it goes with Aliens. So it's for me, it's twofold. I'm excited about Aliens. Is it my favorite thing of all time? No, but if you add him into the mix with it, I'm all in.
Okay, well that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, my number five, I'm actually going to go, and I put the monorail up here behind me because I am actually going to have a Disney announcement. It's probably Buzz. So we were talking about Chris Evans.
Lightyear.
Chris Evans has been cast, and if I understand, he's involved with the direction as well. I know he's been doing a lot of directing stuff, and he's going to be playing or telling the story of Buzz Lightyear's origin story and how he came to be. Now, I don't know if that's Disney stepping away from Tim Allen and recasting Buzz.
Could be.
Because Tim Allen kind of stepped into it. He got very political during this presidential campaign and previously in support of Trump. And certainly Trump does not align with the Disney value or any of that kind of stuff. So I would not be shocked at all if they're distancing themselves from Tim Allen, who really has been a powder keg most of his career. So
cocaine bust,
nothing like taking away his iconic character. Yeah. Oh my God.
So I think that's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be cool. So so number 5, Lightyear for you.
Yeah, or Lightyear, not Buzz. I said Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, so it's called Lightyear.
Buzz.
That's a movie, correct?
It's a movie. Yeah, it's gonna be a Pixar movie, obviously. So okay, so let's go to number 4. Number 4, Rogue Squadron. Patty Jenkins directing. Oh boy, that sounds super cool. I'm just thinking of the. Are they going to bring back some of the original characters as old men now?
They should, right? They should. The question is, though, is that Rogue Squadron is also a video game series.
It is. It is.
So they could go. It could be a number of different things. And also, I didn't see the announcement. This is live action, correct?
It is.
With Rogue Squadron.
It's a movie. It's live action. It sounds like it's going to be based in the original trilogy era. So, and Patty Jenkins is directing. I mean, that's pretty cool. And she's
nice.
I will admit Wonder Woman's probably not my favorite superhero movie of all time, and I've watched parts of it 3 or 4 times, got through it a couple times. But I'm really excited to see it. And that was Captain Kirk's fault. It wasn't the director's fault. I wasn't a big fan of him. Anyway.
Oh, so, Chris Pine.
Pine.
Yeah, he's not my Captain Kirk.
Nah.
He's all right. He's all right, but he's never gonna be my Captain Kirk.
No. So what do you? Is that something that excites you, Rogue Squadron?
Sure. I think it's gonna be a comedy.
It's a feature film. It's a Star Wars feature film. They're going all in with it. I
don't know. It's another
Star Wars story. They got to do it right.
Do it right. It could be. They could go a number of different ways with it. Patty Jenkins obviously takes. She melds comedy and action very well because Wonder Woman. I know you don't like it, but I actually really really enjoyed the Wonder Woman movies, or movie I should say, and the new one's coming out at Christmas, which is 4 years delayed now at this point. So I'm not really shocked. I'm not really shocked that Patty Jenkins walked away. Yeah, exactly. I'm not really shocked that Patty Jenkins walked away from Warner Brothers. I think it's probably a smart move on her part. She's proven that she can make good material. I also think it's a smart move on her part because if Wonder Woman's a bomb and if people don't like it, she's already signed on with Marvel.
Right.
With Star Wars.
She's closed the book on that. It's over. They'll make a third one, but who knows? Who knows if the movie's any good? We'll see.
Well, and I got the funny feeling that DC is going to go in a different direction with their universe, because I think they're going to focus more on the Justice League and less on the individual stuff. Whereas because they have to find a way to differentiate themselves, and they have to get bigger, and they have to get bigger faster. They really just had like a series of failed steps, missed starts, and all that kind of stuff. So
it's been so
yeah,
much.
good for her.
It's a big joke. It's a big joke with them.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
I mean, oh god,
too many chefs in the kitchen is what's going on with that one.
Well,
That's
the
always
problem
been
is
that
they even had a head chef, and he was an idiot.
Yeah.
So I mean, they even went that way, and it didn't work. So I mean, the only good movie besides Wonder Woman is Aquaman.
Agreed.
So you got
100% agreed.
two. And I'm not going to say Wonder Woman's a fringe character, but Aquaman's is a fringe character in the Justice League. Let's just be real.
Sure.
And when it comes down to it, everything that's come out in the Justice League in this DC universe, Aquaman was pretty damn good. So,
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right. So, my number 4.
What do you think? Yep.
My number 4 is The Bad Batch, for sure. The Bad Batch. Sticking with Star Wars.
Cartoon.
Yeah. So are you? I forget. Yeah, it's gonna be an animated series. Are you familiar with Clone Wars? Did you watch the Clone Wars TV show?
So I am familiar with Clone Wars. I understand that based on the Lego nerds that I watch on YouTube. They go crazy and froth at the mouth over the Bad Batch. We have now watched the Clone Wars movie. We are 4 episodes into season 1. So I took your advice. I'm going to watch the whole series, and we'll report back. It's good so far. So
sure.
Anyway,
and it gets way better. So in season 7, the final season, so the Bad Batch was actually introduced in a unfinished clip for season 7 years ago. So the show was canceled prematurely. There was a lot of question about what they were going to do going forward. So they kind of halted the show. They had already started filming the 7th season, and it was going to feature the Bad Batch. And so when Disney Plus decided that they were going to do a completion
final season.
Yeah, a final season. And ultimately, obviously, the reason for that now looks even more clear than it did at the time when they released it, is that they wanted to present an entire season of who Ahsoka was, because this season 7 of Clone Wars really focuses on her. And during that process, one of the men that she works with very closely is General Rex. You probably have been introduced to Rex already, even in season 1 of Clone Wars. So Rex, and spoiler alert here in case you haven't watched it to a certain extent, is that in the events of The Mandalorian, where Ahsoka has been now introduced in live action, takes place in a time where Rex is still alive. Rex escaped Order 66. He had his chip removed. Again, spoiler warning, but unfortunately it's required for the conversation.
It's fine. It was 10 years ago. I'll live.
Yeah, so he's going to be around, and obviously that's why they've got the actor that plays Boba Fett is the same actor that's going to play Rex.
Yep.
So season 7 of Clone Wars was brought back out mostly so they can do an entire story arc on Ahsoka. And in the process of that, they introduced in one episode, they introduced the Bad Batch. And what the Bad Batch is, for those that may not know, and this is what the series is based on, is when you are going through a cloning process, sometimes there is a mutation. And sometimes, kind of like in the Marvel Universe, a mutation can create powers. So the Bad Batch is a series of clones that should have been wiped and destroyed, but they recognized early on that they had some kind of a power set. And so they've put them together as almost like a superhero team of clone troopers. And that's what the Bad Batch is. However, they do not beat to their own drum, for sure. So that's what that show's gonna be about. The trailer is holy shit. That trailer is cinematic. I have not
watched it. I will watch it. This sounds like this should have been your number 1. You sound too excited.
Oh,
for it,
wait till I get to my number 1. So that's that is my number 4. All right, go ahead. What do you got for number 3?
Okay, yep, so I have not sworn one time in this episode, but I'm gonna swear right now.
Get it.
My number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
We had the same number 3 as well.
If any of you don't want to see that, you can go fuck yourself.
That's right.
There you go. Because wow. Oh my God. I mean, I'm excited about Volume 3, but a holiday special coming out being filmed at the same time as Volume 3. I mean, that sounds awesome. I don't even care if it's bad. I'm excited to see the characters again.
Well, I have a theory about what that means. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save my theory for what Guardians of the Galaxy, because it has to do with what my number 1 is. So, but I love the fact that it's a Halloween or a holiday special. So we know it's coming out in December of 2022, which will be the very, very end of Phase 4 getting ready to go into phase 5, and I have a whole theory about all of that. So we have the same number 4, or number 3, I should say. We have the same number 3.
So I've got a feeling you have no idea number 2 exists because you hyper focused on Star Wars and Marvel.
Okay.
Did you know they're making a live action animated
Pinocchio?
series?
No.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I did know that, and I had heard that
John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, and Andy Samberg is going to be Dale. Oh my God!
Yeah, I think it's great.
I cannot wait for that. And it's a movie. It's not a TV show. It's going to be a movie. Oh gosh,
now is it live action or is it CG? I mean, I'm sorry. Is it animated or CG?
It's live action with animated additions.
Oh,
to
okay,
it,
okay,
which is quintessential Disney. It's what we expect from Disney. It's got one guy that's crazy. He's one of my favorite actors. He's always on a boat, singing about boats and other things. I can't wait to see it. Yes, Things in a Box. Okay. Okay. So we're getting inappropriate here.
No, we are not.
Yeah, I know. This has been our tamest episode. We've kept more viewers though the whole time. We never
less alcohol too. Yeah, less alcohol too.
Yeah.
Helps.
Okay. So I am so excited for this. It's my number 2. It just sounds really cool. It sounds really, really fun. So
nice. Yeah, nice.
Number 2.
I think that's great.
What do you got?
My number 2, I'm going to stick with Disney as well. It's one of the real Disney announcements that really hit me hard. I accidentally spoiled it when you were talking about your number 2. Is Pinocchio.
Randy just told me what was in the box. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
speaking of wood, speaking of wood, Pinocchio's made of wood, and the fact that they cast
Pinocchio, Disney
Tom Hanks playing Geppetto, and it's a series, so they can tell the whole story. And what I am hoping to God they do is I hope they tell a darker story.
Sorry.
What did Jeannie say? I'm missing it. Hold on a second. Let's go to the chat. We're going to the chat here. It's boy. Christmas. Gifts and box are appropriate. Oh, Jeannie, is your husband there? So yeah, my number two is definitely going to be Pinocchio. I am really looking forward to, at least hoping they properly do the whale sequence. I'm hoping they properly do the crazed drop into chaos and debauchery that occurs. I hope,
Pleasure Island better be cool.
That's what I'm saying. Pleasure Island has got to be fantastic. So, but the fact that they got Tom Hanks, first of all, that man would not have signed on if it was not going to be a real opportunity. Coincidentally, I think it's interesting that they have recast Buzz Lightyear and then gave Tom Hanks something else really big to do in the Disney universe. So I think there's
gave him the money, you're right.
Might be the nail in the coffin of Toy Story too. This might be the final indicator that Toy Story might be done at this point, which is fine with me. Go off and do, I know they were doing a Bo Peep. They did a Bo Peep short. They're going to do the Lightyear. So maybe Toy Story can branch out without repeating the story arcs over and over again. So really looking forward to Pinocchio. I actually really like the original story, which is much darker than what Disney did. And I'm hoping they bring a little bit of the darker elements back into it.
Terrifying almost if you're a kid.
Yep, exactly.
So, that's cool.
What's your number one, Mark? Cool. What's your number one, buddy?
You've already mentioned it. I think it was your number 5. So I'm going to start with this.
Okay.
If Spider-Man was a Disney film, it would absolutely be my number 1. It was mentioned in it, but it's not a Disney film.
Gotcha.
Saying that, my number 1 is Lightyear. I cannot wait to see that.
Oh, really?
Chris Evans. Oh, yeah. That just sounds so cool to me. I absolutely love the Toy Story movies. They're fantastic. They've been going on so long. I mean, I was 16 when the first one came out. You're much older. I'm not sure absolutely loved it. I'm super excited to see it. It just sounds great. I mean, Chris Evans, I can almost hear Chris Evans' voice as a young Tim Allen. I know that sounds weird because Tim Allen's got that real gruff voice, but he's got that real gravelly sound to him with Tim Allen. Tim Allen's always had that gravelly sound, so that's kind of just been his voice. But I can kind of hear, a young Buzz Lightyear in his voice. Sure. I'm so excited.
And also he's been playing playing Captain America. He's got that Boy Scout sound to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's the hero. He's the hero. So he's got it down. So yeah, that's my number 1. It's no question at all that's my number 1. Like I said, if Spider-Man was Disney, I that
Hey, it's still on. It's still on the announcement sheet. It's still out there.
I know.
It's part of the Disney.
Talk about that here in a minute, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Why don't you go there? Let's do it. Number one. What do you
Number
got?
one is not Spider-Man. Absolutely not. I am interested in the movie. I think.
This looks so cool.
The reason why it's not my number one is Sam Raimi. I am not a Sam Raimi fan. I'm an Evil Dead fan.
Really?
I'm an Evil Dead fan. I enjoyed the first two Spider-Man movies he did. I think Spider-Man 3 is a joke, although it's got some fun sequences.
You know what?
I don't think Sam Raimi
is better than half the shit that Star Wars came out with. Come on.
Absolutely agree with that. However, I would make the argument that Sam Raimi would be great at doing quirky television and he's great at cult films. But I'm shocked. I am shocked that they gave him the keys to a major motion picture like this. Yeah. So nope, definitely not my number one. My number one in this case is Quantumania. So Quantumania is
it because of Kang?
It's because and they made the announcement that Kang is going to be in it. Now that has long been the rumor that Kang was going to be in it, but moreover, first of all, neither one of the first two Ant-Man movies have been my favorite. I don't anticipate that this will further be my favorite, but what I will tell you about this movie is that this movie, more than anything else you see, and I'm going to put them up on the screen here so you guys can see what we're talking about here. Quantumania, third one down, third one to the right, just past Blade, and also the fact that Blade got an announcement, by the way. We can leave it to that. But Quantumania...
They were pondering it, and now it's good. So Blade, yay.
Blade is in, Mahershala Walker, or Mahershala Ali, right? So, Ali. So Quantumania, if you have not kept up with what's going to be going on in Phase 4 of Disney, that is going to be the gateway into the whole second half. So the first half of this is going to introduce some of the multiverse aspects of it, which obviously is WandaVision is going to start it. They're going to address it probably a little bit in Eternals, but definitely Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to close that down. So that is actually going to end fairly early on, this idea of the multiverse. Then what we're going to start getting into is the time piece of it. So we've got the Loki series, and then we've got Quantumania is going to be the next addresser of that, because in the quantum realm, which we talked about a number of times in the movies, both in Avengers as well as in the Ant-Man movies, is that the quantum realm time operates very differently. Now, Kang is actually a hugely, hugely powerful villain in the Disney universe. Although some would even make the argument that he's an anti-hero because he does do some good things. What a lot of people don't know that aren't avid comic book readers is that Kang the Conqueror, who lives thousands of years in the future, is actually a great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild of Reed Richards, who is the leader of the Fantastic Four. The movie that follows...
You said that. It's funny you said that, because I wonder if they're pulling a bait and switch.
Oh, I don't think they're pulling a bait and switch. I'm going to tell you what I think is happening. So if you remember in Ant-Man 2, when they went and got the first Wasp out of Janet Van Dyne, when they got her out of the quantum realm, as they were taking off with the ship to leave the quantum realm, there was a city in the background. That city is most likely the city that Kang is from. Now, one thing that they've established, keep in mind, we're talking about time. So in the Loki movie, there's a really good possibility, and also we have aspects of it in WandaVision, because WandaVision is going to take place through a fictional time. But I think what you're going to see happen is they're going to go back and tell a story in Loki from the 1960s, which is around the time that Hank Pym was playing around with quantum particles. We already know that there was some involvement with Captain America, not Captain America, but with the original SHIELD protocols, and that they had a superhero group going on because the original Ant-Man with Janet Van Dyne as the Wasp were superheroes in a post-World War II USA. So if he was playing around with Pym particles and able to shrink things back in the 1960s, there's a good chance that he could have grabbed some CIA agents or SHIELD agents that were operatives and sent them into the quantum realm. And that could have consisted of a one Reed Richards, a Sue Storm, a Johnny Blaze, and the Thing when they were still in human form, along with who would ultimately become Doctor Doom. They go into the quantum realm.
And that's my teaser right there. You just said
they get stuck there. So they get stuck there. And when they introduce Kang, he brings them out. Or you could even say that they got sucked out at the same time that Ant-Man did in the events of Endgame. So now all of a sudden they get popped into our time, and here they are. They've been now. If you remember, Janet Van Dyne had powers after being in there for just 20 years.
Everyone is losing you, except for me, because I'm extremely smart.
Oh, I lost my thing here. Hold on. Where are we here? What are we doing? Okay, what do we got? Who's losing what?
Oh, they're all losing you. I think they're graying out.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever. All right. So anyway, to finish this up, this is my number one. Quantumania not only is going to introduce Kang, who's one of the most powerful villains in Marvel history, but it's also going to introduce the Fantastic Four, and that's ultimately going to lead with them having a big. Though I think the whole second half of this Phase 4 is going to be about time. That's just my guess.
I believe that Dr. Doom will end up being the big bad. I do. I don't think it's
in the second half of Phase 4. I agree. Yes, I agree.
I think Kang might be one of those. Holy shit! It was over, and then.
Well, because they're going to need Kang later. I think they're going to need Kang as an ally in Phase 5 for who I think their Phase 5 enemy is.
I think everybody's looking at Kang and going, "Holy crap! They announced him. He's going to be the big bad in this one." And I think that's the bait and switch. That's what I think. So hey, we'll see it's on video, so we'll see if I'm wrong.
We'll see if you're wrong.
Anyway,
so what are we gonna do now? You got a couple of things, right?
I want to go with two bad things. TWO, two bad things. But first, we got to say happy anniversary to my sister. You were at her wedding a year ago.
That's right.
On a boat that we liked and
on
wish
a
we could
boat
go back on. I'm on a boat, bitch. Drink. Okay, bye. Happy anniversary, 1 year. I am even more excited for Nico because, well, I married my sister. That's amazing.
What a gift.
Love you,
what
Brandy.
A gift.
So let's go with two things that I wish and you wish you saw in this presentation. Now, I have two. I've been thinking about these two things ever since I saw this. Number one, I know we're running out of time. This is not realistic. I'm not surprised it didn't show up. I'm sad it didn't show up. There's just too much baggage with Pirates of the Caribbean right now. And that was, they initially announced they were going to make another movie. Johnny Depp wasn't going to be in it. Then, everything that happened with him, and now silence. We're not hearing anything about it. I'm sad we're not hearing anything about it, but I get it. I totally get it. There's just too much. There's too much. That's number one. I wish we'd have heard Pirates of the Caribbean mentioned.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's the Johnny Depp. I think they had to back off of it.
Yeah, they had to step back. They have to say, we got to figure this out. We got to take some time and get past it. What do you think? Do you think Pirates of the Caribbean's ever coming back?
Oh yeah, it's too important of an IP to possibly let it go. And there's so many actors that could step into that role.
As Angela said, the redhead. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's the way to go with this. That's the way to go.
I agree. Yep, I 100% agree.
That'd be a great one for Emily Blunt if we want to go back to that. Just saying.
Well, I've heard that rumored. I've heard her rumored for that. As well. So pretty much they want Emily Blunt for everything.
What did you see that you missed? What would you have liked to see? What's one thing you would like to see?
Well, it's twofold. It's going to be I'm going to have a Star Wars one and a Marvel one. And the Star Wars one is going to be the fact that they didn't announce a Vader series.
We got Hayden Christensen as Vader.
Well, that's so they said that Hayden Christensen was going to be in the Kenobi movie or TV show, I should say. And there's a chance that because they haven't released a lot of information about what the Acolyte is. The Acolyte could be something Vader-ish. Or if it isn't about Vader, it could be another Vader apprentice that we didn't know about. So there's some possibility there.
If they're giving Hayden Christensen an opportunity to show that he can actually has the acting chops to do it. Yeah. And you know what? They can just move on if he doesn't. No harm, no foul. But I am happy they're giving him the opportunity. He deserves it.
And he's a nice guy.
I don't think he was that bad.
No. And at the end of the day, he's a really, really nice guy. And he's done some really good things in the real world. And I think
give him the opportunity. Give him a shot.
Give him the opportunity.
You know what? And this is a great way to do it. He's not the lead. He's he can be behind a mask the whole time too. So you know what? Great. I think that's a great one. I do agree. A Vader series would have been awesome.
Yep.
So go with your. I want to hear your next one, and then I'll give you my last one. My last one's weird. It's weird.
Okay. So like I said, it's gonna be a Marvel one. I am shocked that they did not make a Thunderbolts announcement.
Yeah.
I'm less shocked that they didn't make a Young Avengers announcement because I don't know if they're ready to put the kids in their own film yet, and it may be. Well, no, I'm not shocked at all. They're going to keep that X-Men thing under. Yeah, the X-Men are going to be introduced slowly into everything else. But the Thunderbolts, it's the only reason I can think of that they didn't announce a Thunderbolts project is because I think the beginning of the Thunderbolts are going to be so important to the Black Widow, and also the Captain Winter Soldier. So you clearly have got General Ross, Thunderbolt Ross. In Black Widow, they've shown him in the trailers, and you also have the new Captain America, U.S. agent, who is he's being introduced in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You also have Yelena Belova, who's going to be the new Black Widow for Thunderbolt. Right. So and Baron Zemo is in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So they're obviously moving toward the Thunderbolts. The fact that they're not getting their own series means that they're going to be intertwined into other things that are going on. So I don't know if maybe they're going to be a MacGuffin for all of Phase 4 as the Marvel heroes are battling with each other, because really that's what they're going to be doing, is battling mostly with each other. You got Spider-Man being chased by the Law. You've got Wanda taking out half of the Northeast. You've got Doctor Strange playing around with the multiverse. So a lot of the actual Marvel and Guardians are off into space. Thor's off into space. Captain Marvel's off into space. So in that place will be this vacuum filled by the Thunderbolts. I'm shocked that they didn't get their own title. So that one. So the Young Avengers I get, because I think you're going to see the Young Avengers really coalesce in Phase 5. But I was shocked that they're not getting either a TV show or a movie of their own, because they are. Go ahead.
I can see that because two reasons. The Eternals, they've got their group already.
Right.
And Guardians of the Galaxy getting pushed back. So they need to put a bow around that trilogy first before, because you're going to get people. I mean, you and I aren't going to be confused. We're going to be blah, 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 blah. But you've got the Eternals. You got to figure that out. You got to figure out the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe they get a fourth movie. Who knows? Then you can move into that. And I agree. It's cool. Very cool.
Speaking of which, actually, go ahead. What is your other big point? All right, because it might be something
similar. This is a strange one. We're almost out of time. So they announced these are 4 things they announced: a Hocus Pocus sequel.
Yep.
Sister Act sequel.
Yep.
Cheaper by the dozen. 3 Men and a Baby. All of these things are getting a new series or a new movie or new something from Disney. There's a movie there's a series of movies that got 2 movies. The first one made $347 million, made $200 million in profit. The second one made $459 million, made $320 million in profit for Disney. They're headed by an actor that needs a job. Why don't we get a third National Treasure? Come on.
Oh, wow.
Why not?
That's interesting.
You got 2 movies that have almost made $1 billion. You got Nick Cage is doing made-for-TV movies.
Yeah, I've heard Nicolas Cage is hard to work with.
I totally get that, but you know what? You throw down $20 million to him, and you make 400 off of it. Who cares?
Well, the other question is it's not in. So the rumor is going around that they're going to introduce a character in Doctor Strange that will follow up in Blade. And they're going to bring Ghost Rider into the actual Marvel universe.
It's not going to be Nick Cage.
No, it's not going to be Nick Cage. It's likely going to be somebody else. But in Multiverse, they're going to be connecting a lot of different movies. There is no reason why they can't bring Nick Cage's version into it and then introduce another Ghost Rider later. They may have plans for him in that regard. I don't know.
And I get that, but you're talking about a movie that is under the radar, makes money, guarantee money maker. You got a guy that's not hugely expensive. You can make the movie for $150 million and make 500 off of it.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Actually,
flexing.
and that's the other thing. So another thing that I didn't even think about as far as something I was disappointed by is that they did not announce whether or not Black Widow was going to go direct to streaming at the same time it goes to theaters. I think they need to make that announcement.
I think it's going to theaters only.
We're not going to be in theaters by May. I don't think we're going to be in theaters by May the way that they want them to be.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
And if they better at least do a 7-day window as opposed to a 30-day window for that to be released, because I'm not going into theater anytime soon. And I'm never going to walk into a theater where I have to wear a mask. I can promise you that. I have to wear a mask at work all day long. It's the last thing in the world that I want to do. The other thing that I did not see an announcement on, and although I wasn't expecting one, so that's okay, but there wasn't anything about Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds signed a gigantic contract.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And nothing about Deadpool, not even Deadpool coming to Disney Plus. Right. And they've already said that there's going to be an adults only section of Disney Plus.
Exactly. You got to sign into it separately and all blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So I'm shocked by that. But last thought real quick, because we brought it up and we're on this and we probably won't hit this again for quite a long while. On the screen, not that screen, this screen, the last movie, so I find it interesting that there's an I Am Groot show. That's a TV show, correct?
Very cool. Very cool.
There's an I Am Groot TV show, and then a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that closes out Phase 4. Now, the interesting thing about the Guardians of the Galaxy and Fantastic Four both closing out Phase 4 together is that they both share something very unique and very connected. And that is the Adam Warlock, Silver Surfer, and Galactus connection. Yeah. On both of them are all coming out at the very, very end.
Maybe there's the big bad I didn't think about.
I think Phase 5, they're finally bringing Galactus in. And I think because if you look at it, Phase 4 seems to have 3 big bads, as it were. And I think when you get to Phase 5, I think Phase 5 is going to be all about Galactus.
Yeah.
Yep. And where to go? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to be all about Adam Warlock. That was always the plan. They introduced him. They hinted to him and Easter egged him at the very end of the second movie. So this is going to be all about him taking his role as the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, a way for them to kind of push Star-Lord off to the side.
Well, he's been kind of an asshole too, Chris Pratt. So he kind of fits in that that same. Tim Allen vein.
Yep.
He's done some shit stuff lately. So.
He's a time bomb as it comes to public relations, and who knows. And he's also continues to gain weight. But that's fine.
Anyway, hey, this is our longest show ever. 61 minutes. We kept 8 people almost the whole time. We're down to 7. That means probably bye time. I think your list is great. I hope you thought mine was somewhat interesting at all.
I thought it was fantastic. And I did a pretty good job for winging it, man. I'm pretty happy with myself.
Yeah, I know. You're always happy with yourself. It's okay.
Oh, knock it off.
You should be. Come on. I got to get one blast in every show. Come on, man. Anyway, this has been a great episode. I appreciate it. We got 8 likes. We had 8 people in here. Wish we got 10 likes. I mean, hey, what can I ask?
Been a blast. Awesome, guys. And for all of you that were in the conversation tonight, man, there was a bunch of you that got involved. Thank you very much for that. And it was a pleasure having you guys here, as it always is.
Subscribe. We'll see you next Sunday.
Have a good night, guys.
Podcast time.